26, take a look at the disclosure. We get into the morning call. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's morning call. I hope everyone had a great Christmas. It is Friday. If you're in the office, you better be prepared. Nice holiday trading environment for the past 6, 7 days. Hopefully you've been involved. I think a lot of guys are making some good money. So all in all, we're just moving along, moving along. If you're here, you better be in your desk. You better have your routine going, and you better know what's happening. If you're not, be on vacation, my dogs. Have a great time. It is holiday time. You're allowed to relax and enjoy yourself. But anyway, we're here. Pretty quiet morning. Spies are like up or down 2 cents, but the spies have had a pretty sick move from, the inside range where it took back the 821 day all the way to 690.80. So as long as it holds around here, does it have power? Does it not? Hard to tell, but ultimately, you already had a really nice Santa Claus move, and now we'll figure out what kind of action we have between here and year end. So we're going to measure the move. We're going to take trades. We're going to move our feet. The cues also give you lots of ways to make money. Lots of ways. Starting from when it kind of cleared the doji candle right here at 613.56, hit all the way as high as 624, above the 8 and 21 day, above the moving averages. So once again, lots of money there. Just got to move your feet, got to have your positions and decide whether or not you want to be in indices, you want to be in stocks, you want to be whatever you want to do. There's a lot of things to do. Just stop complaining. A bunch of guys are complaining out there and doesn't do anything anyone and nobody wants to hear it. Anyhow, it is Friday once again. The IWM is kind of tight. I actually bought some calls for next week just in case this wanted to take out this mid-range and follow along. We had a hot GDP and interest rates still didn't go up much, so maybe they'll come after this. We'll see. Banks, JP Morgan, congratulations if you've been sitting in this thing since 312. I list this chart every day. Some of you waited for it to clear 322. If you did, you made another 7 points, or if you bought here and added, used a great tier system, congrats. We've been focusing on Morgan for catch up. If you're playing and you're involved, congratulations. Looks like it's clearing 182 and could see higher. And then Goldman, not leading, but not too far behind. Some guys along versus 868, others waiting for it to take out this 919, 920 area. This morning, Goldman is, where's Goldman? Down a $1.50. Still got some room for it to trade within the range. Overall, mega cap tech isn't awesome, but it's fine. Apple gave us a trade. You had to be pretty perfect, buying the 270, 250s perfectly when the stock was below 270. I did take most of mine off. Did I take all of them off or just most? Oh, I think I took them all off, and I rolled them into the 275s for next week. I think that's a good way to do it, just to make sure you have enough time. And I'm in the stock. Did the same thing with Amazon. We were buying the 230 calls in here. Had a nice move, took off the 230s. I went to 232s for next week. Right? Let me see. We can move this over here so you guys could see. So Apple, I went to the 275s. I rolled out of the 272.50s into the strength. Amazon, I rolled into the 232.50s, and that's what you call rolling options. Anyhow, we'll see how it goes. Tesla's still rebuilding. Held where it had to, though. The last 2 days I kind of let it breathe, and it's been breathing. And at some point, maybe it wakes up again. We'll see. Microsoft's kind of tight, tighter than it's been in a while. I don't know, there's really no catalyst or anything here, but if there's a buyback program, I don't think anyone's sitting here selling it, so we'll see how that goes. Meta's kind of the same way. Meta and Microsoft have both been broken for a while, but it could be a trade there if you're focused there and it's a name you like. Besides this tail, it's pretty tight. I'm not going to trade Meta. I might trade Microsoft. We'll see. Nvidia's been acting better. Nice inside candle on Wednesday. If you can get above 189.23, there's room to there's like a lot of room above. Where's Nvidia this morning? Nvidia is up $1.36. There's definitely room there. And they're not selling it on the deal. This $20 billion deal that's making a lot of my friends rich. Not me. I'm a grinder. But, on Christmas morning, all of a sudden I saw my text chains lighten up about, what valuation did you get in? What valuation did you get in? And I'm like, anyway, some got in at 750 million valuation. It's at 20 billion. Some got at 6 billion. I think 3-4 months ago, it was like, I think 9. So congratulations. these private deals take time when they happen. It's like found money. Um, but again, you got to be like, very rich for those. Or anyway, so they didn't sell NVIDIA on it. I think people liked the deal, so let it hold this area. Maybe it sees 191, 196. There was some news on AMD that made me buy it this morning, but again, I don't trade AMD very well. There was news that Baba bought a bunch of, chips. I think that's what somebody posted in the Alpha team, so I bought a little bit. It's only up $1. For this to get any better, it's got to get above like 217, so there's some room there. If it can get above this, maybe it acts better. Um, we'll see. The chips aren't great, but it's tight. When it's tight, it's worth a look, right? Yes, a lot of people talking about how the metals are in fuego, and they are. Silver, another big move. Wow. It's one thing to like buy some puts and try and be cute, but if you're just rolling up shorts from here, because I know a few people that have been short shield thinking this was the top SLV, and then it just went sideways and didn't recover, and been trying to roll up a short, and I don't know, probably not having a good holiday. But anyway, silver is up another 250. Pretty incredible move. If you have a treasure chest of silver, congratulations. Maybe cash some in, do whatever you want to do. But I didn't tell you to build a treasure chest. So I'm not telling you to get rid of it either. GLD, look at that, another 3. But again, these things you could be asset allocators and have a certain percentage of your 401k or your pie chart in gold and silver and even crypto. And in time they work. And then when you trade momentum, momentum rules help. Silver has been above the 8-day ever since. Remember this trade? We had a great trade here. I think I bought the 49.50s, rolled them into the 54s, and this was probably the last day I traded silver, which is fine for me. I'm not a metals guy, but I'm a pattern guy, and that was a great pattern. And never really got back in, but whatever. GLD we got back in, especially in power plays, but sold it just to take the trade because it was, I don't know, maybe, I don't remember what percentage, but we bought the 391s here when it was like 385 and got out into the 407. So that was a really nice trade. If you're still in it, congratulations. Some guys like, Red Dog, thanks for getting me in, but why am I getting out? I'm like, I don't, take a trade. He's like, no, it's not the right thing to do. So if you're still in it, congrats. Maybe today you take a trade, 415. Anyhow, nice work. Going back to some of the super growth names, I think ASTS needs a little bit of time to rebuild. At least you had a chance to sell some strength here. Now you got to see, does it hold 77.65? Might take some time. There's not another lift or lift off in a while, so it's going to be back and forth. Give it some time to work this candle off. It's done it in the past, but sometimes it takes time. RKLB probably needs time also, so make sure to give it the space that it needs. Hold on a second here. Anyway, as far as the drones, UMAC was a great trade. Still in, I think, 2/3 with power plays. I bought it here when I bought a basket. Still looks good. Needs some time. ACHR, I'm trying to accumulate in here. It's going to need some kind of catalyst. RDW, I was also trying to accumulate, and I still am. I'm going to try and accumulate. I'd love to see some better life there. Iron looks interesting to me. Different data center type of play, not drones. Very tight, going sideways. We'll see how that goes. Maybe there'll be a trade here. I bought the 40. What did I buy? The $44 calls. $44 calls. Let's see. What did I buy here? This is the Alpha team. I bought the. What did I buy here? The $44 calls for next Friday. So we'll see how that goes. Bunch of them. I might even trade it too if it really gets, got above 43.50 with some kind of volume. I would buy that. Anyway, some people saying, why am I accumulating NN? This is a few of my friends who are a little bit smarter than I am, who have bigger time horizons than I do, say that this thing is going to be big move for next year. Chart looks good, so I'm going to try and play along. Hopefully it continues to make it easy to hold. We'll see. What else? RKT is just off the beaten path. Looks decent, has some room, something different than all the tech names that I'm in. Joby, I'm accumulating. I would think this could have a nice move next year. Big upper range that's been intact since like July. So July, August, September, October, November, December. It's been 6 months of sideways. So I know some institutions that are accumulating it. So you can either be long verse 1330 or wait for it to get in motion and get above 1550. That's always safer to wait for it to get in motion if you can't sit there and it annoys you. Um, Bitcoin's having a bit of a move. Nothing great. I bought some options just because I'm like, I can't buy this. I can't buy it just because if we come in, it's been relatively weaker and it looks like it could get really beat up. Wait, I didn't mean to click on that. Perking up a little bit. Really tight, you know. Um, I know the Gen X's and everybody, all the young kids, the 30-year-olds are all upset. They're like, I thought the boomers were so stupid. And meanwhile, the boomers are friggin' laughing their way to the banks with the silvers and the metals and the coppers and all those things that you could drop on your foot and hurt. You can't drop a Bitcoin on your foot. I'm kidding. Anyway, FCX, yeah. So this is Bitcoin. If you're long it, I guess you can be long it and just put your stop in right here. 84.4. Maybe it gets a little bit better. That wouldn't be so bad. I wouldn't mind it getting better either. I like when there's momentum things, trading momentum, but when they're not, they're not. Some guys think Dash is ready to go. We'll see. It's tight. Dash is tight. Maybe it could hold 229. That's my stop and get above there. We'll see. Either which way, I'm looking to just net some money today. I'm in some KWeb for China for January. It's up a little bit, nothing special. I think Baidu looks pretty good. I just hate trading it, so I bought some options. Figured maybe it gets above this 125, and if China's gonna have a move in January, maybe it needs a leader, and Baidu looks pretty good. Right? That looks pretty good. A little tight. And that's that. It's 8:23. I'm here. I'll be here all next week too. I got a lot of admin, a lot of things I got to do. I hope everyone's feeling well and had a great Christmas, great time with their family. Now's a really good time to think about things you want to do differently in 2026, personally, professionally, whatever it is, whatever it means to you. I feel like, I did a decent job following my rules and doing things that I wanted to do this year, and I'm going to try and do it better again next year. We're not getting any younger. You want to be a good example for your kids. You want to be a good example for your community. Well, you got to start by being a good example. If you can't be a good example, you got to start by keeping some promises to yourself. Write some things down. If you can't keep a promise to yourself, you can't keep it to anyone, and then you're no good for anybody, especially for yourself. And then you're never going to make good decisions or strong decisions with confidence in anything besides even trading. So at this point, if you feel like you're a little frazzled for some reason, just take a deep breath, pull back, get off the desk, and think about things you need to do for next week and take some small steps. If you feel like you're doing good and you want to get to be great, then there's also a way to go from good to great, and those are little things that can help you. I feel like I'm good plus, and I want to get to great myself. So I got some things I got to do to go from good plus to great. And with that said, we all do. So just figure out what that is and what that means to you. Happy to be here. Let's make some money today. Let's end the week on a good note. It's been a good 7 out of 8 days. I think guys have been stacking them, and coming in with a good attitude. That's all I say. That's all I want is guys to come in with a good attitude. If we disagree, tell me why. As far as I don't like this because of that versus that. Not the sarcasm. Not that this isn't going to end well. Not the bullshit. I don't want the bullshit. If you want the bullshit, go find someone, another team to play on. Not the alpha team. The alpha team is about making money, having fun, doing the right thing, trying to make everyone money around them, and and you can laugh. We can play some music. I get a little weird sometimes too, but don't wish bad on anyone, because if you wish bad on somebody on this alpha team, I'm going to take you out. Okay, there'll be no more voice for you, and you'll be lucky to even stay here. But with that said, you know what? We're going to try and stack a few more days. We're going to get ready for next year. And try and become a little bit better versions of ourselves. I'll see you in a bit. I'll come back on the microphone around 9 o'clock.